Hello everybody, Jim here to answer some of the questions that the official Polaris Q&As left on the cutting room floor, because today is the last day to pick up the relatively awesome Corvette with lifetime insurance, and I feel that you should be properly informed before you make your final decision. I've read both Q&As as well as 15 pages of questions. Then I picked out the most important questions that either weren't answered or weren't answered completely, yet could have been answered but were, for one reason or another, ignored. Let's get started. Question number 1 comes from several people. Does the cockpit or front of the ship detach from the rest of the ship? I suspect you're talking about the rumors surrounding this picture. Sorry, I received this from my brother, so I don't know who originally noted the lines on the ship, but you can see how the front of the ship looks like it might be a detachable scout, which could explain the teeny tiny wings sticking off the side. However, I don't believe that the front will detach, because I have started an even more amazing rumor. The front can't detach because it's actually the head of Polaris, the GoBot Voltron hybrid. As you can see in my much more detailed diagram, the arm and fold-out legs are clearly visible, and the detachable ship is actually the head of an invincible giant robot. The tiny wings are actually retractable textbook anime mech ears, and the tail of the ship is actually an anthropomorphic mouth feature. The purported intakes are standard sad robot eyes, and the cockpit forms a perfect GoBot head point. It's all clear now, and longtime viewers of my channel will know from my Reliant question and answer session that it's now only a matter of time before outsiders invade our reality and Carrot Top returns to power. Link in the description. Question number 2, from many people. How big is the Polaris hangar, and which/how many ships will fit inside? Okay, this may be the only question that I took completely seriously. Doing some quick and dirty math using the size of the doors in comparison with the rest of the hangar, I came up with a conservative estimate of 46 meters in length, 20 meters in width, and 8 meters in height. Considering that this model also represents the most current understanding the developers have regarding the size of the Polaris, I think I can answer this question almost as well as they can. Here is a list of all the ships that are currently able to fit into the Polaris hangar according to my conservative estimate. The M50 Interceptor, the Mustang Alpha, the Mustang Beta, the Mustang Gamma, the Mustang Delta, the Mustang Omega, the Gladius, the Aurora ES, the Aurora LX, the Aurora MR, the Aurora CL, the Aurora LN, the 300i, the 315P, the 325A, the 350R, the F7C Hornet, the F7CS Hornet Ghost, the F7CR Hornet Tracker, the F7CM Super Hornet, the F7A Hornet, the Avenger Stalker, the Avenger Warlock, the Avenger Titan, the Gladiator, the Merlin, the Archimedes, the Hull A, the Reliant Core Mini Hauler, the Reliant Mako News Van, the Reliant Sen Researcher, the Reliant Tana Skirmisher, the Saber, the Asperia Vandal Blade, the Prospector, the Buccaneer, the Dragonfly Yellow Jacket, the Dragonfly Black, the Argo MPUV Personnel Variant, the Argo MPUV Cargo Variant, and the Anvil Terrapin. Of course, we should note that my estimate may be off. The size of the Polaris may change. Some of the ships, like the Cutlass and the 300 series, are currently in redesign. Some of the ships, like the Freelancer, are different dimensions than those listed on the website, and some of the ships, like the Hull B or the Cartu Owl, may fit in the hangar in a configuration not listed on the stats page. In short, the game's made up and the points don't matter. There is no telling what will fit in this hangar before all the ships are complete. Still, if you want to know how many of which ship you can cram in there, I suggest you go pester Teller, link in the description. He sent my brother a link to a picture of a Polaris hangar packed with Merlins, so I'm pretty sure he's holding out on us, and I'd love to see that video. On to question 3, from Kieran Sloan. Why are the rear turrets set so far back from the edge of the ship? Their ability to defend the rear and act in concert is severely compromised by the current placement. Well, Kieran, I posted the same question for the Freelancer in a video called The Trouble with Turrets, and a viewer named Ashkelon03 pointed me to a jump point number 11. In an article on the Freelancer, the developers were trying to find ways to give the rear turret of the Freelancer better coverage, and Chris Roberts told them to leave it, because he wanted to give various ships intentional flaws and weak points. And he didn't think a few degrees of coverage one way or the other would make any difference anyway. Then, when the Freelancer became flyable, they decreased the coverage even more. So that's your answer. The turret coverage sucks because Chris Roberts wants some things to suck.
Just do it!
Just remember that the next time somebody says that Star Citizen isn't ultra-realistic. Nothing is more true to life than random, pointless suck where no suck should be. As evidence, I cite the fact that most of reality is made up of vacuum. Question number 4, asked by Detach. I think that's right. Can the RX-78-2 Gundam fit in the bay? No, I looked. It's 18.5 meters from top to bottom, and that is way too tall. Question number 5. RDD asks, why did you make it so the hangar in my Polaris is 9 meters in height and my Herald is 9.5 meters tall? Now I won't be able to fit it in. Why are you so mean? I hate to be the one to break this to you, D, and I'm probably going to get in big trouble for mentioning it, but the developers are only mean to you. Literally, every other backer gets exactly what we want all of the time. I'd have told you sooner, but we were specifically asked not to tell you during the weekly No RDDs Allowed Town Hall livestream. And then I was warned personally when it was my turn to have Chris over for lunch.
Just do it!
Seriously, what did you do to that guy? He seemed really upset. I'm pretty sure he was crying when he left my house. Question number 6, asked by lots of people. I just looked at the floor plan for the Polaris. Why didn't you fill all the available space with usable rooms? You did the same thing to the Starfarer. So much wasted space. I demand answers. Okay, this one is simple. The reason for not filling all of the space is that space is already full of stuff. You asked why the space wasn't filled, but what it sounds like you really want to know is, why isn't the entire interior of the hull comprised of empty rooms you can walk through? A ship isn't like a house, full of empty places for people to be. It's like a car, full of machinery as well as places for people to sit while it's doing its thing. Large parts of the ship's interior are required to house the stuff that makes the ship do what ships do. You need lots of space for things like generators, water, power, and air pipes, structural supports, torpedo tubes, fuel storage, and all the other stuff that makes a ship function. Without that stuff, it wouldn't be a ship. It would be a really expensive space box. Question number 7 from CC Corp. Will a Polaris be able to navigate jump points? And if so, what size? Answer? Yes, and big ones. Question number 8 from DeLune. What will the scanning package look like? The scanning package will look like a scanning package. Here's a video. Question 9 from Heavy Gunner. I want to know if the Polaris or other capital ships can land on a planet. My answer was, yes, once. At least that's what I would have said if Elysum hadn't beaten me to it. And finally, question number 10, posted by BuzZzKiller. At least one of the unmanned turrets is, quote, automated. How does this work? Okay, Buzz, this is pretty complicated, so bear with me. As you well know, Star Citizen flight mechanics are meant to harken back to World War II air combat because that's the only time in history that flying planes in combat was fun. Citation needed. At that time, we didn't have the technology to auto-aim a gun, so we typically don't have that ability in Star Citizen. Fortunately, the developers have found a solution in the form of the pigeon-guided weapon developed by B.F. Skinner for the military, but abandoned in 1944 because, while it worked well in testing, it was really silly to kill people with pigeons. Here's how it worked. Pigeons have something like 3 times the visual processing capability of humans, so they are very good at spotting and following objects visually. So, you can train a few pigeons to peck at the image of a warship on screen, then devise a way to guide a bomb, missile, or gun by having a pigeon strap a probe on its beak and peck a conductive plate. Voila! Pigeon-guided weapons. Automated turrets on the Polaris will be aimed the same way, completely in accordance with World War II technological limitations, except that Star Citizen pigeons will have cyborg eyes because, well, you know, cyborg eyes. And that does it for my unofficial Polaris Q&A. Thanks to everybody for watching, subscribing, and sharing my videos with the world. As a reclusive shut-in, this is my only contact with the outside world, and every comment you make or person you bring to my channel hauls me one step closer to a healthy level of social interaction. I really do appreciate it, but for now, I'm going to go back under my rock, and I will see you next time.